Buongiorno a tutti, oggi ho il grande piacere di avere Bryan Shelton, il padre e coach di Ben. Attualmente Ben Shelton occupa la 14ª posizione mondiale. Voglio farvi scoprire un po' suo figlio e il percorso che ha fatto, quindi rimanete collegati. Hello Bryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So today we are here in Germany. How is the feeling like first grass tournament of the year? What do you think about Stuttgart and the grass season that is very short?
Yeah, it's great to be in Stuttgart, our first time here, and to start the new grass court season. It's exciting. It's a fresh start again after many weeks on the clay, and now we look forward towards Wimbledon and to be able to start it here in Stuttgart on a nice grass court where the ball's bouncing well. It's a lot of fun to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you were former player number 55.
Yes.
You won 2 single titles, Newport twice in
Yes.
grass. You were finalist at Roland Garros 92, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles, yes.
Yes.
I think like it's important also like the experience you give to your son in order to have like some important victories and experiences.
Yeah, I think that the tour is very difficult. You know, that's what I experienced many years ago, that there's a lot of very good players and it's a long season. In tennis, we play from January all the way through November. And so you have to experience the wins and the losses, and you have to treat them the same. And you can't get too high or too low. And so I think that's some of the experience that I give to Ben, is an understanding that there's so much to learn and so many areas that he can grow as a person, number one, you know, with these kind of experiences that most people don't get to have, to see many different cultures, meet more people, to perform on a stage, to all of the great things that we get to experience on the tour, and then to feel the feeling of competing against the very best in the world. It's such a great opportunity for him. And he's very young, and to be able to do it at 21 years old is pretty special.
And your family is entirely like a tennis family because your wife Lisa, very good results at junior results. You have also a daughter Emma that plays tennis.
Yes.
So like tennis is in your heart, in your everywhere, no, for you.
Yeah, for sure. Both my family and my wife's family are very involved in tennis. My wife's brother Todd Witzkin, he was, I think, maybe 31, 32 in the world in singles. Got to number 1 in the world in doubles. So that's Ben's uncle. So yeah, we say that he has a good combination of both families. More personality from their family, the Witzkin family, and a little bit more discipline and structure probably from my family. Yeah, I think it's nice to be able to pass this on to your children and for them to be able to experience this great sport and to be able to travel the world and do it.
But at the beginning, Ben was not like prepared to play tennis because like he was hooked by American football. So like he started tennis at 10 years old.
Almost 12 years old
12
when he
years
really
old.
got involved with tennis.
Yeah.
One day he came to me and said, Dad, you know, is it possible I can start to train with my sister and with you? And that was when he was 12 years old. And I thought to myself, well, I don't know, because we train very early in the morning, 6 a.m., you know, and I don't see Ben waking up so early. Yeah. But to my surprise, he started waking up early and coming to practice with us, and he fell in love with the game.
Yeah, and I remember because at the beginning, he said like, my father was a professional tennis player, but his job, like, I will not be involved. And after, like, something happened.
Yes.
And what happened like that?
Well, he was playing American football. And at the age of 12, the kids now, he was very small, but the other kids were much bigger and stronger. And I think when he had the contact with the bigger kids, I think it made him think a little bit, maybe this is not for me, you know? And his sister was going to tournaments and sometimes bringing home trophies, and he was looking at her experience and thinking, yeah, maybe I want to do this. And so something changed in his mind, and from that moment, he was still playing some other sports, but he started focusing more on the tennis. And within a year, he was starting to play tournaments, but never traveling outside of Florida. only playing in
Yeah.
Florida, never leaving even the state, much less the country.
Yeah, I know, because it was my next question. I remember like a story he posted on social media before Australian Open 2023, saying that for the first time he will travel outside the US. So for me it was really like interesting, because I have like this connection with King Richard, for example. No, I don't know if you've seen the movie.
I have.
Where like there is also like a similarity, because Ben didn't play juniors,
Right.
so he went directly from college to professionals.
Yes.
So I'm really interested to hear from you why. I know before you were a professional tennis player, you did like 4 years of college.
Yes.
After you were like head coach of women's and men's.
Yes.
And so based on your experience, you decided that Ben will do the same as you did?
Yeah, I think that was the plan all along, was that hopefully he could play tennis at a good enough level that he could go to college on maybe a scholarship and play for the university team. We didn't really dream of professional tennis. That wasn't really my thought with Ben or his sister. It was just to introduce the sport, to give him something that he could also develop in. And there's so many lessons that you learn from tennis that you can apply to life. And so we just thought it's a healthy sport, it's a good sport. And then he started to progress very fast, but still, we only wanted him to stay close to home. We wanted him to be in a regular school, not online, and really to develop friendships and normal things in life. So for us, it was really important that he developed, as a person first and tennis after. And so we didn't travel, and we really focused on his development and developing all parts of his game. And unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to play on red clay or grass or some of the other surfaces, which now he's learning on the professional tour how to play on these surfaces, which is quite difficult.
I remember one victory that Ben had when he was playing in college against Olgren. That was
Yes.
like 4 years and a half bigger. It was like from that match, after that match, that he won the title, no? That he understood that, okay, like maybe it's time to become professional.
Yeah, I think in his mind, he was thinking after he won the NCAA tournament there against Holmgren that I'm ready to go play professional tennis. But for me, I said, no, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready. Let's see how you do with the professional tournaments, the bigger tournaments. Let's see if you can compete with big, strong men, because at that time he was only 19 years old. And then that summer he played some challengers and actually played an ATP tournament in Cincinnati where he beat Sonego, Lorenzo, and then he followed that win up with a win over Casper Ruud. And then, okay, now we're starting to think that professional tennis might be the right path for him at that time.
Yeah, because he became professional 2022, so he was
Yes.
19. Like,
Yes.
I mean, now professionals maybe like it's normal at 16, 17.
Yes.
So like he became professional, not old, but at an important age.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just unusual because most of the players here on the tour, they played Junior Australian Open and Junior Wimbledon, and they had experienced life like a professional. They had traveled around the world and played on many surfaces and done more things than Ben had done at that time. So even though he's 19, he's really like a 15-year-old, from his experiences. So didn't have too many. So that's why I didn't think it was time yet for him to turn professional. But he grew like very late also. 18, 19 is when he really started to grow and get bigger and stronger. And so, but we saw that summer of 22 that he could compete with the bigger guys. He could compete with the best players. And then obviously he went on to the Australian Open where he reached the quarterfinals. So that was a pretty good event for like his first time leaving the country.
And I love this story behind the Australian Open because it was the first time, as we said before, that he left the country. But Australia, Melbourne, is a special place for your family since you saw your wife for the first time. So like
right.
it's everything connected, no? Like in
Yes.
the world.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know. And we went back this year. We went with him to Australia, you know, because I started traveling with him last summer. And so this year, my wife and I both traveled with him to Australia, to Melbourne, and we went back to the hotel where we met for the first time. And when her brother was playing on tour, and so that was pretty interesting to kind of tie that together and to show my son and my daughter where we met. And I think Melbourne and that tournament will always have a special place for us.
And when you returned with your family at that hotel, like what was in your mind? Like we did it, or like what feeling did you
I
feel?
mean, just a connection, you know, with both families together. The Witskin family and the Shelton family, and how we combined, and then we have these two great kids, and here we are many years later at the same place for a different reason, but tennis has kind of always pulled us together. So yeah, it's just a nice connection that we share. You know.
And it was really interesting and amazing that if we consider March 22, he was like 570 in the world. 1 year and a half later, he was like 15. In 1 year and a half, great results, like incredible results.
Yes. And for a while, I would tell people that he may be 30 in the world, but I think he's really 80 in the world. He's not quite 30. He had some good results, but he's not 30 in the world. And then now he's moved to 14 in the world this week. And now I think, maybe he's top 20. I'm starting to believe, you know? And, you know, so many things still to learn and so many areas he can improve. But when I see him play against the best players, I believe he can win, you know, and he can compete at the highest level. And he still has a lot of room to grow to get to the top 5 or top 10 because there's some things he has to improve in order to be there, because you have to be more consistent, especially in the bigger events where the points are bigger. So the Grand Slams and the Masters 1000s and these tournaments, you got to get to the point where you're making it to the quarterfinals and the semifinals more consistently. And so that's where he still has to grow his game and his belief and his confidence so that he can compete deeper in those tournaments on different surfaces.
How is important, for example, for a coach to like, you know, as you do with Ben, like to fly down that like the player will not like maybe he win a match. Okay, like I'm a new star. Like how is important that a coach also like connected to psychology, maybe, you know, like something like that.
Yeah, I think it's super important, you know, because, you know, one of the things that we're trying to do to help Ben, his high level is here, okay? His very best level, he's competing with Sinner, he's competing with Alcaraz, he's competing with these guys. But his lowest level is still here, much lower than his highest level. Where the top players, their lower level is, on each day, they find a way. They find a way to still beat the other players. And Ben has still a lot of room to grow his bottom level to bring it up to a higher level. And part of that is the psychology of how he manages himself, how he manages his energy, how he manages his mind and his thoughts, how he structures his points, how he controls his breathing and those things in between the points so that he can think clearly, because you have to have the oxygen going to the brain. Once it stops, it's tough.
Over.
It's not good. And so he's very young with all of that. And I think that's the part that he has the most room for growth moving forward.
And last year in summer, as you said before, you decided to quit your head coach job because you saw that, okay, it's time to be involved in 100% in that.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate my whole life, you know, to be able to get into a sport like tennis when my parents didn't have any money, and they found a way for me to get in there, for me to go to college and have a scholarship and be able to study engineering, which I wanted to do, and get a degree, to be able to play professionally on the tour, to be able to coach at a high level in collegiate tennis, both with the women and men. and then to have two kids that play as well, to be able to coach them to this level. My son now, just incredible experience and so fortunate. So I had the opportunity to do all that. Now to be able to coach him on the tour, I mean, it's like a dream, you know, to be able to do that. So yes, when he asked me, he had to ask. But when he asked me, I said, of course I'm coming with you. You know, I don't know for how long, but as long as you want me there, I'm going to be there.
How proud are you?
Yeah, I know. There's nothing better.
And if you think about maybe, of course, like Tokyo title was incredible.
Yeah.
But if you think about like one win that he got during his career, young career, when was the proudest moment for you as a father, not as a coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many, you know, but I think it was just really special last year at the U.S. Open to see him there on the biggest stage, playing on Arthur Ashe, and then to have his whole family there, watching, family on my side, on my wife's side as well, and for us all to be together to see him make that run through to the semifinals. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I remember the year before, he and I, the very first day we arrived in New York, they allowed us to hit some balls together on Arthur Ashe. And I thought, wow, this is so cool to be able to have my son on the other side of the net and we're both hitting the ball back and forth together. And then for 1 year later, for us to be watching him on the center court, you know, on that court, you know, watching him play Tommy Paul and play Francis Tiafoe and then play Novak Djokovic, you know, where we'd watch so many matches on television to see him out there playing and we're sitting in the box. I mean, that's a dream come true.
It's incredible to see, like, you know, the love for the sport, the love for your family, for your sons. Really, like, incredible.
Yeah.
What can I say? Now soon, Olympics, first time for Ben. How is the feeling like? I think you will be super proud and you can't wait, no?
Yeah, I think if, you know, I mean, when that happens, yeah, just so proud, you know. I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year, you know, but one day for sure he's going to play in the Olympics, you know.
Okay.
So right now he's making the decision on whether he's going to come back and play in Paris for the Olympics. He hasn't made that decision yet.
Okay. I didn't know. Okay. So let's Wimbledon instead.
Yeah, Wimbledon for sure. You know, we're looking forward to the grass.
Yeah. Okay. Unexpected.
Yeah. Sorry.
And but Wimbledon, yeah, he did good. No, he did great last year.
Yeah, you know, his first time playing Wimbledon, and he won his first round match, which was great. And then he played Giri in the second round. And played a really good match, but the guy just played better. But still a good experience. Last year on the grass courts, he got 5 matches over the season. Not a lot of experience. But what we did see is that his game can really match the surface as he gets more comfortable moving on the court and understanding how the ball bounces a little bit lower and just how to play more effectively on the court. So we're hoping that this year he gets many more matches on the grass and then can peak at the Wimbledon and play some of his best tennis there.
This amazing first serve, he got from you or from who?
Well, yeah, I think there's some similarities in our serves, but mine's from the right side and his is from the left, which makes his a little bit better because we don't have as many left-handed players on the tour. Yeah. So not many people get to see a serve like his very often. But yeah, I think I gave him some of my serve, but I think he took it and added a little bit more to it.
So thank you very much, Bryan. It was really a pleasure. Thank you, because it was really something special to hear from you everything.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.